Welcome to new Neo Storybook channel. The Power of Words. Unleashing the Power of Words. Marina and Mira had been best friends since childhood. They grew up in the same neighborhood, went to the same schools, and shared a love for learning. But as time went on, their paths diverged in one significant way: communication. While Marina blossomed into an articulate and confident speaker, Mira struggled with expressing herself clearly, especially in English. This difference began to strain their friendship, but neither of them knew just how much the power of words would shape their futures. Marina had always admired the way her favorite teachers spoke, so eloquent, so commanding. She believed that words held an undeniable power, a belief that led her to pursue a degree in communication studies. Her goal was simple: to master the art of speaking and help others do the same. Mira, on the other hand, avoided the spotlight. She was quiet and reserved, often speaking in short, clipped sentences. Despite being highly intelligent, her lack of confidence in her English skills held her back from expressing her ideas in class, and later in her job as a project coordinator. One rainy afternoon, as the two sat together in a cozy cafe, sipping coffee, Mira finally confessed what had been weighing her down. "I feel like I'm trapped inside my own head," Mira admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "I have all these thoughts and ideas, but I just can't seem to express them the way I want. Every time I speak English, I feel like I'm stumbling over my words." Marina set her cup down and leaned in. "Mira, you've always been brilliant. Your ideas are sharp, but I know it's hard when the words don't come out the way you intend. But you have to understand something: language isn't just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about confidence. You need to trust yourself." Mira sighed. "But how do I do that? I've tried, but every time I speak, I freeze. I'm afraid people won't take me seriously if I mess up." Marina smiled gently. "The power of words doesn't lie in perfection. It lies in how you use them to connect with others, to convey your emotions and ideas. And the more you practice, the better you'll get. It's just like any other skill." The cafe bustled around them, the hum of conversations blending with the sound of rain tapping on the windows. Mira stared at her coffee cup, lost in thought. She had always envied Marina's fluency and ease with language, but deep down, she knew Marina was right. It wasn't about perfection, it was about expressing herself, even if it wasn't flawless. That conversation marked a turning point for Mira. She decided to make a change. Determined to improve her English and build her confidence, she enlisted Marina's help. They began meeting every weekend, practicing conversations, working on pronunciation, and even tackling some public speaking exercises. One of the first tasks Marina assigned was deceptively simple: Mira had to talk about her week in English for 5 uninterrupted minutes. The first time she tried, her voice wavered, and she struggled to fill the silence. But Marina encouraged her, offering tips on how to slow down her speech and use simple words to convey complex ideas. "You're doing great," Marina said after the first attempt. "Remember, it's not about rushing. Take your time, and let your thoughts form naturally." As the weeks passed, Mira's confidence grew. She began to use more descriptive language, and her sentences flowed with more ease. In her job, she started speaking up during meetings, sharing her insights and ideas with colleagues. Slowly but surely, she felt the transformation taking place. Her fear of judgment and failure began to fade. But the real test came when Mira was asked to give a presentation at work. Her company was pitching a new project to a group of international clients, and her boss had assigned her a speaking role. Initially, the thought of standing in front of a room full of people terrified her, but she remembered Marina's advice: focus on the message, not on the fear. The night before the presentation, Mira and Marina sat together in Mira's living room, practicing one final time. Mira was nervous, pacing the floor as she ran through her slides. "What if I mess up?" she asked, wringing her hands. "You won't," Marina said confidently. "And even if you stumble, you'll recover. You've got this, Mira. You've worked too hard to let fear stop you now." The next day, standing in front of the room full of executives, Mira felt her heart racing. But as she began speaking, something remarkable happened. Her voice was steady, her words clear. She didn't freeze or stumble. Instead, she found herself fully engaged, conveying her ideas with passion and clarity. Her colleagues and clients were captivated, nodding in agreement as she presented the proposal. By the time she finished, the room erupted into applause. Mira felt a wave of pride and relief wash over her. She had done it. Later that evening, she called Marina, her voice brimming with excitement. "I did it! I gave the presentation, and it went so well. I didn't even feel nervous after the first minute." "I knew you would," Marina replied, her voice warm with pride. "You've unleashed the power of your words, Mira. You've always had it in you, it was just a matter of letting it out." Mira couldn't help but smile. She realized how far she had come, not just in her ability to speak English, but in her confidence. The words that had once felt like barriers were now tools of empowerment. She no longer feared making mistakes, because she knew that true communication wasn't about perfection, it was about connection, understanding, and courage. From that day forward, Mira embraced every opportunity to use her voice, whether in work, social settings, or personal conversations. She became known for her insightful contributions and persuasive arguments. And with every word she spoke, she remembered the journey that had brought her here, the journey of unlocking the power within herself. For Marina, watching her friend's transformation was deeply fulfilling. She had always believed in Mira, and now the world could see what she had known all along. Mira was a force to be reckoned with, a woman whose words could inspire and influence those around her. In the end, the power of words wasn't just about fluency or mastery, it was about discovering the confidence to share your thoughts and ideas, knowing that your voice mattered. Mira had found her voice, and in doing so, had unleashed the power within her. And in that power, she discovered not only the key to success, but also the freedom to be herself, unapologetically and confidently. Moral of the story: the true power of words lies not in their perfection, but in the confidence with which they are spoken. When we overcome our fears and embrace our ability to communicate, we unlock the potential to inspire, influence, and connect with others. If you'd like to hear more captivating stories and content, make sure to subscribe to New Neo Storybook channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss your favorite stories. Your support means the world, and it helps me continue creating content that you love. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful take on the timeless tale. Your feedback is incredibly important to us. Let me know your good thoughts in the comments below.